You can earn £100,000 a year and still be getting poorer. And so please, for a minute, just for a minute, forget about that salary. All right, let's talk about some numbers. And so I'm going to give you 5 numbers. And at the end of this presentation, there is going to be an exposure and we will find out whether you are building wealth or not. 1, it's earning. 2 is what we're doing with what we are earning. But that exposure is going to be out of these 5 numbers I'll be giving you. Let's dive deeply into this. The first number is your net worth. Yes, we need to know the actual net worth. The reason is because your salary actually tells me what you have earned. And your net worth tells me what you have built. And so for a simple calculation, we're talking about what you actually own minus what you owe. Please, this is very simplified. Don't complicate matters. What you own, what you actually have, minus what you owe to someone. For an example, and for a purpose of illustration, I'm talking about your investment. I'm talking about your property equity. That is the equity in that property that you currently have, your business interest, your cash and other assets that you may have. Now that we know what is actually accessible to us, we are going to subtract our mortgage balance. We'll also be taking out the loans, the credit card balances, and all other liabilities. That is the number you need to know. But I do not want you to calculate this once. I want you to calculate it consistently. Now, what am I talking about? We can say yearly. The reason is because if at the end of it, what you actually have, what you now own is £50,000. Then next year, are we owning £65,000 or 60? Now, between 50, 55 and above is a huge margin. And so that means progressively we are actually doing well. And so yes, we may be earning this, but if we do the maths and we are stagnant or we are earning below what we actually were last year, then we are not building wealth. And so, yes, on paper, it may look like, yeah, he or she is doing well. But your reality says you are in negative. And that is the number we need to actually pay attention to. And so that is the first number you need to be focusing on. The second one is your asset acquisition rate. And this one actually matters to me. Now, for the purpose of illustration, let's assume £100 comes into your home. My question is, how much out of the £100 actually goes towards building an asset? That is the focus. And so once again, if you earn £4,000, that is the amount of money that comes into your home. Now, if £800 is consistently buying investment or other productive assets, your asset acquisition rate is 20%. Now we have something measurable. And so when your salary increases or when your income increases, you need to watch that space, because now if we are working at 20% moving towards our assets and there's some increment that probably we may not even be expecting, or you were expecting that increment. Now my question is, are we still going to be kept at 20%? Or are we going to increase? Because anytime any extras come to your home, there must be an increase to your assets. And I'm not talking about you going to buy a physical asset, all right, you can. But what I'm trying to say is any other liquid assets that you own, talking about the stock market, we can add up to it. Then now we know that there is growth with our net worth. One more time. Number 3 is the true cost of debt. Now, do not tell me I only owe £8,000. That does not tell me anything. You need to be telling me what interest is on that £8,000. Then now we are doing some talking, all right? And so, yes, I get it. You think £8,000 is all right and I can pay that. I'm not interested in how much you owe, my dear. I'm interested in the interest attached to how much you owe. And so once again, for the purpose of illustration, if an £8,000 is your balance at 0%, then that is completely different from an £8,000 balance charging you 25%. So please, I need you to know these 3 numbers. Know what you owe. Know what interest you are paying on what you owe, and how long it is going to take you to clear that balance. And that is why some of my videos, I talk about balance transfers here and there, and that is another conversation for another day. But please do not celebrate an 8% rise on an investment when in actualization you owe 24% on your credit card. All right, to me that makes no sense. Somebody make that make sense to me? No, I don't think so. And so please, let's tackle what actually matters first, and then we can focus on what will actually work towards our future. Please don't swap these two and assume your interest or your your investment is actually rising. But then you know your reality that you have a 24% APR somewhere, you have a 32%. You know what your reality is, please. So we want to ensure that we are doing what matters first. Number 4 is your income concentration. And I'm really going to take my time here because this is usually not discussed. And just before we dive deeply into this, please have you grabbed a copy of my new book? That is my new book, Teach Your Children Your Habits and Not Your Inheritance. I don't know wherever you find yourself, but it's accessible and available everywhere. On Amazon, on TikTok Shop, on my Stand store, or go to the Yacht Hub on my website and you can get a copy personalized from myself. Signed from myself. I look forward to that order. Now, I need you to ask yourself this question and be intentional with it. What percentage of my total income comes from one source? I'll take it again. What percentage of my total income comes from one source? If your salary is £3,000 a month and that is the only income entering your household, then effectively your concentration is 100% because it's coming from one source. And to me, that is a problem. So let's imagine you are earning £3,000 a month. Your investment is giving you £300. Maybe your property is also giving you £200. Other source of income is giving you £300. So you realize now there is an extra source of income. So we do not have a full 100% concentration on one source, which is where the danger is. Because this life, anything can happen. We may lose that job. Redundancy can take place. Anything can take place. And so we need to ensure that all of these other pillars are also mounted. And so this is a space to watch. Once again, if that salary source is one, then you need to start working. There's something else you need to start doing. See, if you need to start selling something at work, start selling something. If your place of work actually allows you to be able to do that. I remember there were times that I had clothes in my boots and on my lunch breaks, I was selling these clothes in my boots and the clothes were not even mine. I was selling them for my sister and I wasn't making anything out of it, but then I was determined to just help her grow at that point in time. I didn't need it. I just knew that the space I found myself, I could do it. And so it was stuck in my boots. And see, there were times that people will be waiting for me by my car just to open the boot for them to grab whatever they want to grab. So please, I'm not saying every space requires that, depending on where you work and the kind of environment you find yourself in. But what I'm trying to say is find a means to have the extras. And now, who says you should be selling? The stock market is there. Invest something out of your pay. And in time, you realize that is an extra source of income you have created. Number 5 is your financial dependency ratio. Now, what am I talking about? Bring everything together. All your expenses, bring it together. Now, how much does it cost? Once again, for the purpose of illustration, let's say your entire expense is £3,000. Then calculate how much of that 3,000 your asset can currently produce without your salary. If your asset produces £300, you are at 10%. If they produce £900, you are at 30%. If they produce £1,500, you are at 50%. Simplified. And if eventually your assets can sustainably give you £3,000 against your lifestyle, which is also £3,000, then you realize we are having a different conversation right here. And if you ask me, this is what I call the financial independence ratio. And personally, I wouldn't stop at 100%. And the reason why I wouldn't stop at 100% is because businesses actually can sometimes have its own hurdles here and there. Markets fluctuate, dividend may slow here and there. And personally, I love margins. And so if that asset is producing £3,000, which is 100% equivalent to my outgoing, my expense, I want to move up a little bit. So I want to take it a little bit higher and maybe 150, 200%. Now I am actually sailing because I'm in a comfortable zone. And I know that regardless of the weather that may hit me, see, I'm sure I'm still being shielded. That is how you do it. You work with margins. Now, please take a closer look at what these 5 assets actually tells you. These are your reality. These are your numbers. So imagine you have the mirror right in front of you and you are seeing the actual reflection of yourself. I am talking about your net worth, your asset acquisition rate, your cost of debt, your income concentration, and your financial independence ratio. That is what I'm actually talking about. These are your numbers. And so you realize now you can't actually do the comparison because you earn 100,000. Someone else also earn 100,000. Or you're on 40K, someone is on 40K, and you want to do the comparison. No, our liabilities are different. Our assets are different. In fact, the things that we do with ourselves, some of our hobbies are different. Some people have some special hobbies, you know. So some people do quite a lot, you know. And so you can't do that comparison and assume, oh, this person earns this amount of money, and so we should be the same. No, we are not the same. Okay, Yat, now you need to behave. All right, thank you so much for joining in. The aim for this is to ensure that you know your numbers and you know how to calculate it and you know how to bounce out to freedom. Bondage moving to freedom. And see, that freedom number has got nothing to do with myself and the other person at the other side. It's got everything to do with you. It is specified to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't followed or subscribed to this platform, by all means, in all humbleness, do me the honor. Say to someone, have you been on the Yacht Finance yet? See, she's giving all the tea. I can't wait to see you at the top. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next.